Tonight on The Family of Four found shot to death inside a home in Union, New Jersey. Investigators now saying it was a murder-suicide. They say 42-year-old ANDREA ALACRON fatally shot her 51-year-old husband and two young daughters before killing herself.
Welcome to the podcast. It's2 Podcast, the acronym standing for Is It Important to You? If it is, there's no judgment. If it isn't, there's no judgment. We can voice how we feel on the subject at hand without being disrespectful to each other. So we just want to cover really quick this story of New Jersey mother, 42, ANDREA. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. ANDREA ALACRON. Public records. I saw the story on Inside Edition. Public records were obtained, and they found out that the house that the family lived in, she had a husband and two daughters, two young daughters. They didn't specify the age. They found that the home had been foreclosed on by the bank October 31st. They had 60 days to vacate, and the day they overstayed the vacate order. So the sheriffs were coming to evict the family from the home. And when the sheriffs got there, they found the family all deceased. And it was she took the lives of her husband, her two daughters, and then herself. So I just wanted to ask you, I wanted to cover the story because it's sad. But what are your thoughts about, I know you can't, know what she was thinking, but what do you think?
That's what I was gonna
Why do
ask.
you think she committed this act instead of, trying to
That's what
just?
I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, are you thinking like if we have to go homeless for just a little bit until we get back on our feet, were you thinking we gotta die? Like, were you thinking that we absolutely just know there's no other way around it? We can't go to, like, there's no way to go to no shelter. You just thought about instantly, you know what? We gotta die. We gotta die. That don't even make sense to me. Like, who just, that's what you think when you think about it. Is that what your thought was? Like, hey, our only option is obviously dying. Like, when people joke around and be like, you know how people make jokes and they be like, oh, if I can't lose it, I'm literally gonna die. People
Mhm,
joke like that. They always say that all the time. They'll be like,
mhm,
oh, I can't lose this because I'll die. Like, people play like that, but it don't be funny when stuff like this happen, because
mhm,
she really was thinking that, because there's no way, like, or is no detail to the story either. So it's kind of like, it's crazy that people that know her personally didn't even speak up and say, oh, you know what, she been, I seen maybe some signs in her, but nobody said anything.
mhm.
So it's not
Yeah,
even no, it's not even no details to say whether she was already on edge with being a little off maybe, or showing some red flags. It was just like she probably could have tried to be so picture perfect and then thinking like, oh no, this is so embarrassing. But it's nothing that could be more embarrassing than killing your kids.
well, I just, like we talked. I think that in this society that they have made material things, is like material things are so important. If you don't have this, you're not this. If you don't have that, you're not this. It sounds to me that she just couldn't take the fact that they were losing their home, and maybe she, trying to keep up with the Joneses. And sometimes you have to live beneath your means. And I think, like I told you, anything you can come back from. The only thing you can't come back from is death. Financial ruin, you can come back from. All of this other stuff you can come back from. But this society has made material things, and oh, if you don't have this, you're not that. So she felt like that was her only way out. Maybe, I don't know what she was thinking.
That's what I
And
said. Were you
for
thinking we
her
gotta we
to,
gotta die?
yeah, and for her to I'm not victim blaming, but it just it could have been another way to solve this problem instead of taking your children and your husband. But it could have been
Could have just picked up.
she thought that, okay, if I take my life, then my child will be here without their mother, and then if I take their lives, it'll just be my husband, and then
It's
maybe
that's
she
the
just
thing. It's no. It's no. I don't know if that's what she was thinking. What you're saying, or she was just flat out maybe ill and was like Ben wanted to. She could have been so overwhelmed, so stressed to where she was like Ben wanted to do something with rage or something crazy like.
but you do have people, they can be normal and just have a moment, because all of us, it can happen to all of us.
And then
Like if you
and then
if you J. Cole got a song and he say that everybody is a killer if you push them to their limits. So maybe she was like any sane person. If they're pushed to their limits, you don't know what you'll do, but you don't know what your limits are. So she could have
it
been
was
sane, and maybe all of this building up, she just lost it. So she probably wasn't mentally ill, but with all this stress of her, trying to keep her home, trying to keep up appearances, wondering what her
it's
neighbors
no
gonna
way
think.
you had to be somewhat that had to be she just didn't lay her cards out on the table and show everybody. That had to be because I've been in situations. I'm not saying like I've ever been homeless, but nobody knows what people personally go through. Everybody have a limit. I'd have been pushed to many limits that nobody knows about, and I've never thought about
Right,
taking somebody's life.
but
Like I'm saying,
she
she had to already had that boiling deep inside, and it came out.
and it was pushed. She was pushed to her limits, and this what she did. No, you don't know how you saying you pushed to your limits, but you don't know that until a situation happened. Even if just the thought of you being evicted may not be you being pushed to the limit, because you may not have been raised to say, oh, I'm going to take my life if I lose my home. I'm going to take my life if the sheriff coming to evict me. That's probably not your limit. But you could be pushed to your
And
limit
then she
if
could have been.
somebody is constantly, every day, until you just snap. You never
It's
know.
crazy how she did it right when the sheriff was about to come.
Exactly. That's why they putting this together, saying that all of this together is why is the motive. They haven't figured out the motive, but they're saying this is the motive.
Moments before
The
eviction.
family, yeah, moments before the sheriff was coming to put all the family's things outside the home. And that's another thing I wanted to say. We as humans, we need to have compassion, more compassion for each other, because you never know what somebody going through. When you see somebody, sometimes all they need is a smile or for you to wave at them, and because you never know what people are going through, and sometimes we could just be so mean to each other. And the neighbors, what's so crazy is the neighbors say they hadn't seen the family for days, and maybe if somebody just would have went and checked on her, because it's no telling how long they lived there. But as a neighbor, if you knew she had a family, just maybe just go say, check on the family. But the neighbors say they hadn't seen the family in days. So,
Yeah.
and that's why you never know what a person, just like with Twitch, the guy who took his own life, he seemed so happy, and you just never know what people going through. But
Yeah.
in people that's thinking about killing themselves, is sad because they have other people out there that love them, and no matter what, it's always somebody that love you. If you're thinking about anybody thinking about doing something like that. But this is, I just think it's sad because, as like I said, as a society, it's like you trying to social media, how people trying to keep up with the Joneses, and some of those people on social media don't even have all that stuff.
Mhm.
They just wearing all that stuff, got renting it or for a day or two, and going back to
Mhm.
their regular life. So I think you just need to live beneath your means, and it doesn't matter what people think. If you fall into financial difficulty, You can always come back from that. I think they could have came back from this as long as you have love and you have your family sticking by you. Because she had a husband and her 2 kids. They could have started, even if they would have had to go to a hotel for a month, 60 days, a year, and eventually save up money to start renting again. You understand? But I'm not victim
And I
blaming because
understand.
we
I
don't know
mean,
what she was going through.
you gotta understand that was New Jersey too.
Yeah.
You know, New Jersey. You know the the price it is to be there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let us know what you all think about this story. Andrea ALACRON. It's a very sad story. She took her life, her children's life, and her husband's life. Minutes, I would say, the sheriff was coming to evict the family. The house had been foreclosed on, and they had overstayed the vacate eviction notice. And just leave us your thoughts, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you guys for listening.